Is it safe now? Is it safe for me to tell jokes again? Fuck. Hello? Uh-huh. 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 All right, I'll tell him. Yeah. All right. Yep. Hey there, Delta here, and I was just told by the higher-ups that I was actually never funny, and I've been fired and permanently cut off from my weekly payment of $5 funny bucks. So from now on, Hidden Gems is being rebranded as serious videos about RPG Maker games with absolutely zero jokes in it. Just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Kicking off this week's episode, we got Final Profit, a shop RPG developed by Brent Arnold. If I look back on my favorite RPG Maker games of all time, they almost all share one thing in common. They don't have any combat. They found a way to make their games work without traditional combat, bending RPG Maker to their will in order to make something different. I've never played an RPG Maker game like Final Profit. This game is really fun, especially if you like games like Diner Dash and Overcooked. If you don't like games like these, it might bore you to death, but honestly, I enjoyed it a lot. Its gameplay loop is repetitive, but it's a fun way to kill an hour. Also, the protagonist, Madama Bees, is a baddie. Like this video to smack her bald head, or subscribe and hit that bell to smack her bald head. I don't have any real complaints about this game, honestly, but I do have a suggestion. I kind of want this game to be light on story and heavy on mechanics because I feel like this gameplay loop stands strongly on its own, but that's just me. Maybe after beating the story, the game could have like an endless mode or something, I don't know. Don't let me influence you, Brent. You got something great with this project. Don't give up. President Chainsaw is interesting. I went back and forth on it quite a few times. Don't get me wrong, I like this one, but rating it was tough because I'm not sure if I really like it or just kind of like it. The game has quite a bit going for it. The music selection is good, the character sprites look great, but I think a generator was used. A lot of these characters' faces feels samey, but honestly I still prefer these over the basic RPG Maker generator. This game is a tactic RPG with some bullet hell mechanics. Pretty interesting combination. The game also solved a problem that I tend to have with other tactic RPGs, even the AAA titles like Fire Emblem and Valkyria Chronicles. When I play games like these, I always find myself getting impatient. I feel like in tactic RPGs, the turns always take way too long, and usually the way these games fix it is by giving the player the option to speed up combat in a menu or something. Fire Emblem allows you to straight up skip the enemy phase of combat entirely, but President Chainsaw just doesn't waste any time. You select your skill, you do it, and then you're immediately able to act again. And on top of that, the game has a fast forward button, so if this isn't fast enough for you, which it should be, but if it isn't, you can even make it faster. Bravo, bravo. I really like that. Thank you. What else can I say? I really enjoyed the combat and the bullet hell aspects, but I have to admit, the writing lost me. The writing isn't bad per se, it just feels like it needs more polish and proofreading. I think I understand the style the dev was going for, but I found myself having to reread lines because I was just confused by some of the speech patterns. Again, it's not bad, but I recommend going back over it with someone to proofread the game. If you can't find someone to proofread your game, try reading it out loud to yourself. It's easy to skip over mistakes when you're reading something internally, but as soon as you hear it out loud, you'll be able to catch some things that you might have missed the first time. Also, I think the demo is a little too long, but I saw on the Q&A section of the download page that the developer is aware of this. Very excited to see where this project goes, but until then, I give it a 7 out of 10. Alright, you're living under a rock if you haven't heard of The Last Chronomancer. I have been following this game for what feels like forever, and now that I have finally played the demo, I can see the hype. Games like these are always super exciting to me because I absolutely love when RPG Maker games get a lot of attention and they don't try and hide the fact that it's an RPG Maker game. I have been in this community for a long time. Every asset I saw in Chronomancer can probably be found on my hard drive somewhere, but I haven't seen RPG Maker assets polished like this in years, and I want more than anything for this game to succeed. The cinematic cutscenes set the stage for an amazing tale of epic proportion. The music choice is nothing but banger after banger after banger after banger. The writing is solid. I really enjoyed interacting with NPCs, even if they didn't have much to say sometimes. The combat is a little bit on the slow side, but I love that I was given access to a large party early so I could mess around with potential team comps. These maps are amazingly put together. Every map felt dense, making these locations feel alive, made the world feel alive. I know that there's been whispers of an RPG Maker renaissance with the success of Omori, but honestly, I'm hoping this game, with the help of Silent Kingdom and Eternal Remnant, shoot RPG Maker into the limelight, because these games have the potential to be just as good, if not better. Chronomancer gets a 9 out of 10 on the hype scale, and if you haven't played it, I'm gonna need you to do that ASAP. And that's all we have for this week. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. You know the drill, like this motherfucker, or don't. I don't want to tell you what to do or how to spend your clicks. But if you really like this video, please consider subscribing and sharing the series with someone who might be interested. Could be your mom, dad, wife, cat, uncle, grandma, girlfriend, boyfriend. I really don't care. The world just needs to see these. I'm glad that you made it another week, and I hope to see you next time. You're doing great. And don't forget, my name is Delta, and this was Hidden serious videos about RPG Maker games with absolutely zero jokes in it.